I would say that Find a Place is a song for the hopeless romantics, the daydreamers, the people who, seek that escapism in their mind, in their general life, and in the mundanities of life. The song inspiration behind Find a Place, I would say it was kind of more of a feeling as opposed to like a specific story. It was more of the feeling of like wanting the escapism, or like it's meant to be a song that you daydream to, where it was kind of just like, daydreaming of getting away with your boo, and to me it was just like the perfect daydreamer song, and it wasn't like intended to be that as I was making it. I think it was just like an emotion that I was feeling that like came across in the song. It did come from a specific season in my life where I think that I was kind of just letting the emotions drive the music as opposed to like lyricism or anything. It definitely was something that I kind of made randomly. Like Sweet Nothings was a spontaneous drop and project that we put together. I've been working on my debut project for like almost 3 years now, and it's finally coming out this fall. And I reached a point in the process of making it that I was wanting to increase my productivity, even though all my sessions were for this project. So I made vocal samples and sent it out to a bunch of my producer homies. Austin Mark, a good friend of mine, was the one to come back with like 4 amazing tracks and was just like, let's do it, let's drop it. And he was always pushing me to like just drop and not overthink it. And I was a little hesitant to drop Sweet Nothings, which Find a Place is on, because I felt like it didn't speak to my true, lyricism, musicality, all of the above. But I'm glad that we just decided to say, whatever, let's just drop it and see how it's received. And it ended up being like the most successful drop as an indie artist for me. Well, considering the thought process behind Find a Place, it wasn't really a thought in my mind as I was recording the lyrics, because it was just like a vocal sample pack, which is just, raw vocals, no production, that I sent to Austin. And he was just testing ideas out and everything, and then he sent it back to me, and it just felt like the true, like, just such like a daydreamer escapism song. And the whole project is kind of like this lo-fi, like, drive on the highway kind of vibe to it that just makes it like great for like, studying, chilling to, kind of whatever. It just makes great like music to live to. My style when it comes to the music that I sing over, it kind of just depends on the vibes, but I will say that like I do like to use my voice as an instrument within the production of a lot of my songs, whether it be just like, obviously like ad-libs and harmonies and stuff. Like I do love to add that ear candy to just keep the listener's attention throughout the song. But yeah, I do also like to use my voice as an instrument within the beat as well, because it makes things exciting. People have described my music as a beautiful garden. I mean, I've also heard like, I don't know, they say it sounds like ethereal or like heavenly, and it all kind of ties into what my debut project is about to be this fall. There's actually a whole connection between being a woman and womanism and how that relates to like, you can blossom and it can be a beautiful garden if you love it into being that. Yeah, I would definitely say that I kind of got my start in a soundscape similar to Find a Place, because when I was in college and I was the vocalist for the jazz band at my school, when I first started to record myself and believe in like my voice and my artistry, I was recording over chill lo-fi type beats on YouTube. And that's why it kind of just feels very full circle for Sweet Nothings to do so well organically, because it was returning to my roots and recording over lo-fi beats and things like that. So the lyrics on Find a Place are definitely more simple in nature, in that, they're very simple. It's like, maybe we can find a place, maybe we can get away, maybe we can cop a plane. And it's kind of just more shining through, I think, is the emotion behind what I'm saying. And it's kind of just like this like longing and yearning, if you will, real yearners only, longing and yearning for that escapism with your boo and everything. And I think that even though the lyrics are like, aren't that, crazy complex, it's really just like the emotion of like, wanting that getaway with, the person that you care about and everything. That longing for like living in your own world when you're with the person that you love, or like with your person. And, in the mundanities of life and in the craziness of life and the stresses of life, just wanting, those sweet moments with the person that you care about. And yeah, it's definitely for the hopeful romantics, I like to say, and the daydreamers and the people who like, romanticize everything about life, which I am definitely included in that group. Wow, I'm so glad that you asked where Find a Place sits in the story of Giovanna as an artist, myself, because I think that it is kind of showing this more positive, rose-colored lenses. The whole project is all pink and it's all very like posh, femininity forward. I think that it shows like kind of just like the naivety maybe of like early coming into oneself and like first experiences with love and everything. And I think it's the perfect transition for my project that comes this fall. That's definitely under a more mature lens and going through what happens when you do take those sweet nothings for what, you know, what they're worth. The version of Giovanna that showed up on this song was definitely like, I would say it was the vulnerable, like sweetheart Giovanna. It's so funny, it's called Sweet Nothings. It's so funny, like the first project that I ever put out was actually called Sweetheart, so it kind of feels like a re-evolution of that. The romantic in me, that's pretty much, you know, 100% of me. So I don't know, the soft version, the version that like has no inhibition when it comes to like putting your heart out for somebody.